What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my Matrix reviews. This review is going to be on Matrix 4, the most recent one that you could catch on HBO Max. I've got to check it out, and I'm mixed on this movie. It's hard to figure out the purpose here in this movie. It was really good to see Keanu Reeves back and Carry-On Mass and Moss back in their roles as Trinity and Neo. But after watching the film, I feel like they should have just left the trilogy alone. This movie has great cinematography, has great visual effects, just like the previous films, especially now. And this age, it was very groundbreaking when the first movies came out. And the first movie, to me, still, it's a standalone film. It stands on itself. The sequels were mixish, didn't necessarily lead or pass the first film, but they were respectful movies. The original Matrix was a very interesting movie. It was original with a real artistic value to it. Up to that point, we didn't see nothing like it. The second was an attempt to go deeper on the same themes, but it didn't work out very well. The third one was an attempt to wrap things up. It got a little silly near the end, but it still had some sense of purpose and meaning. But this, they really completely lost it in this one. It's its own Matrix, you could say. Yes, there are a few interesting ideas in this movie, like Thomas Anderson making a gaming trilogy that is like the real Matrix movie trilogy, and some machines siding with humans, but there are very few and in between. There's one joke that works, but then it's ruined shortly afterwards. There are many attempts at mocking Lawrence Fishburne's take on Morpheus, which don't land all that well with me. The whole concept of the one, which is the whole point of the trilogy, is shattered to pieces with the concept of the pair in this movie. I'm not gonna spoil anything for you in this review, but you're gonna see what I mean when you watch the movie. Actually, the whole conclusion of the trilogy is essentially thrown out the window in this, just because it wasn't very good. And a lot of people didn't like the last two movies in that trilogy, for good reason. But doesn't mean you can just pretend like it didn't happen. At least if you were trying to neglect those other movies, explain it, do something, make it a dream, or make it that it didn't exist, that it was a alternate universe. This movie is boring a lot of the time, sad to say. They have new characters in this, but I feel like they were wasted. Neil Patrick Thomas was wasted here, even though the general idea of casting him as the analyst makes some good sense, but the jokes, the gags, it just didn't work. They were bad. Nobody could have pulled them off, not even in this movie. The Next Generation leader, which of course is a girl, they switched it up, speaks very fast and strange in this film. I could not understand her most of the time. The end with Trinity performing meaningless violence is meaningless. I felt like she was out of character, even though this character is her own element. Even Neo, who portrays kind of a different role in this movie. It's kind of silly. Priyanka Chopra is in this movie, trying to portray a similar character to what Monica Bellucci played in the original movie, but she wasn't even close, and that surprised me, because she's such a phenomenal actress and such a beauty on the screen. Kinds of feel like this movie kind of feels like a high-end fan film. You know, they did it for fans or like that. You know what? Let's throw a Matrix film out there because you know fans lobby for it, or because Keanu Reeves is right now on such a high point, we can't miss with this. Where they missed. It's sad, you know. This movie's not terrible, it's just bad. If you're a huge Matrix fan, I guess it will make sense to see it, like I was. For others, especially if you're a non-huge Matrix fan, it's better you don't see this film. It's gonna make you think a lot less about the first three movies. And there's not much more to say. You know, go check it out at your leisure. I give this movie a 2 out of 5. Like, for me, it just wasn't enjoyable. You know, although beautiful, cinematography on point, but the plot of the movie, the reason for the movie being in development and ultimately finished and produced, and you know, I got to see it. It wasn't worth the time. But leave your comments down below and let me know what you thought about the film. You know, if you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and please subscribe to the next one. Peace.